only we had some dinosaurs working for us, they'd really shake up the Decepticons. I'm with you, Wheeljack. We could build...
Welcome back to the Tide Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to come at you with the Newage number 49 Hammond, their take on Wheeljack. And it's a very G1-esque Wheeljack, and it does look the part, and it is the cartoon version. You can expect probably 6 different color variations of this to come out, and the exhaust, I think, is the next one coming. But I did get this Show Z. I might have a link down below where you can get yours. If you put in the TH reviewer code, it helps me out. Just put it on the main page whenever you order anything. But anyhow, let's take a look at this guy. We're going to do some comparisons to the Toy World Whiskey Jack. Does it completely dethrone the Toy World Whiskey Jack? How does it scale with everything else that's out there, and including the mini bots, including other car bots, and including Magic Square? So we're going to get into looking at all this coming up. Alright, so here this is in the packaging. I do like that you see a window. You know that you're going to get it in the alt mode here, and we get to see kind of both modes on the top. Just a close-up of his torso on the back side, and I guess they're advertising for the dinos that are coming down the road, or kind of showing off that Wheeljack made them, and so is Newage. Right out of the package, he looks really good, but I do want to point out, I didn't even know, and I'm going to have to go look this up, what this arm goes to. It's like a Build-A-Figure, I think. They've done this before with like an Orion Pax, I think. But anyhow, maybe Autobot X or something, Spike, who knows. I'll find that out, I guess. But looking at it, does look really nice. And I do see kind of that pearlescent paint job going on with it. It's not super bright white. It's a little bit of a off-white. And yeah, really looks cool. Looks a lot like a Wheeljack that you would expect in the alt mode. A little bit of the bot under here, but it's really kind of cleaned up. So they've done a really good job with this. And you got some numbers here. You have paint for the windshield, and you have some green paint there that it's not the sharpest that I've seen them do, but it's still not horrible. And then 539, then we paint up the top here. We do have yellow on the tail lights, and then a grill and some stuff going on up there. So yeah, looking really nice, and it rolls. Maybe not on my surface as well as it should. But not a whole lot you can do with the alt mode. None of these accessories go with it in the alt mode. So let's go ahead and get into comparisons. I really got to go through and find my cleanest looking G1, but there it is size-wise next to a G1. So you're definitely not matching the size and scale of a G1. Sometimes Legends do, but not always. But yeah, that thing is kind of rough. But I don't have all the parts on it either. But there is a Bumblebee, and at this point, I'm already starting to forget if this was Magic Square or Newage. But so Bumblebee's a little bit too big, but I think they're all about the same size, Magic Square and Newage. And so I'm thinking that this Wheeljack is a little on the small side in the alt mode. That's kind of sad, but it still looks good. All right, getting into the transformation. Don't really have much more to do in this mode. We're going to pull these little panels out and kind of slide them down. They pull out and they slide down, and then we're going to bring this whole segment here down. And as you see, it's the legs. We are going to be making the legs. So we have to disconnect this piece here, and then it comes down, and then it's going to rotate around on this ball joint here. It's going to rotate on the ball joint. It's not going to do that. Then we're going to form the heel with this right here. Form the heel. And then we're going to take this part here. This is going to disconnect. This is going to disconnect. And it's all going to kind of come down. But you're going to have to rotate this piece here. Pull it out, rotate around, and bring it down to form the leg. So let's line all that up. There it goes. And then we're going to flip this whole waist piece around, down and around, tighten it up. There's one leg done, sort of. And then we're going to get over to the other side. We're just going to do all this over again. Another verse. Maybe we'll see it from a slightly different angle, or it'll look a little bit better than it did the first time. Disconnecting this, and then bringing this down and around, and then connecting it in to technically the front. Let's get that tabbed into there, and then we're going to rotate on the hip, and then bring it down and make sure everything's aligned just right. Still, and is he standing on his own 2 feet? Does that look right? Okay. I did not rotate that second one on the ball joint, so we're just going to rotate it on the ball joint and fix that. No big deal. Now it looks right. There we go. Now he's standing and he's looking right. Then we're going to get into the top segment here. So we're going to have to disconnect this from here. So this all disconnects and comes down. And there's a whole lot of stuff that's going to be going on with this. There's his wings and some great stuff. I think at this point we can go ahead and rotate this here. Now we're going to get in with the arms, because there's some crazy freaky stuff that's going to happen here. All right, so separating this piece here is going to clip out, come undone, and we're going to bring this sort of out. And then we are going to bring this, flip this around. This piece, which kind of just went on its own, goes right there. This whole thing is going to rotate in and become the side, like this, and then the shoulder. And we have to work on the hand and move this around. Now this hand is really strange on how they do it. You need to clear this, and then you need to rotate it, and then bring it right back up into the hand socket. There we go. And then make sure it's all orientated properly. That is so strange. Much different kind of engineering on that than we see on other Wheeljacks. But all right, so we can bring this over, rotate it around, fold this flap in, fold the side panel down, and then we are going to wiggle this piece here, which it still doesn't feel quite right, but and then you're going to rotate it. I might have to zoom this in editing because it feels like it's a mile away. And put the fist into that cavity and then line it all up. So the chest is lined up, that's lined up, and then there we go. Now the next thing we're going to do back here, we're going to fold these fins down, or up, I guess, technically. And then we're going to be folding the chest down. Oh, these pieces have to go in. So these pieces go in, these pieces go up, and then it's going to fold in. Like so. Sort of, kind of. Sort of, kind of like that. And I think that's pretty much it. It's looking like a Wheeljack to me, but is it better than a Toy World Whiskey Jack? I mean, that's going to be the comparison. Right, so here he is out of the package. I think he looks good. Not out of the package, in the bot mode. He's been out of the package. He looks pretty good. I think that it does look like a Wheeljack. Now, I don't really like this much stuff on the side of his hands there, and maybe I can rotate that hand around or something, but yeah, he's feeling a little bit kind of stocky with these side pieces. Maybe I can push them in a little bit more. Maybe it's possible, but I mean, he gets the job done. I feel like it's an overly complex transformation for the character. I don't think Wheeljack really needs to be this complex. It really could have been a little easier, but maybe I'm just not seeing it right. And with that, he looks a little boxy in the chest area. Like, this should all just be rounded, which is kind of what we expect from what we've seen in the past. And the back is still, it's pretty clean on the back. It's not bad. But this kind of stuff right here looks okay, and the side looks okay. But so my really only big gripes would be this. I'm wondering, there's no way to move these out of the way or anything. So I would have liked if maybe they could have folded back or something. That would have been cool. And I do have this flap here that just keeps falling out. Now I'm not sure. I can probably put some polish on it or something. Some polish could hold that in place. That might work. And of course, once you get it on display, it'll probably be fine. But yeah, that does kind of suck every time you manipulate it. But let's go ahead and get into looking at articulation, then our weapons, and then comparisons, and those kinds of things. All right, so his head is on a ball joint, so you can look up and down, left and right, and all that. And amazing paint, like always. Like Newage always does a really good job with the paint. Oddly enough, I think that these might be painted back here. They're painted to look more, of course, this is the cartoon version, not the toy version, so it's painted to look more like the cartoon. We do have ball joint right here, so all the way around, 360. We have shoulder movement. Now, this is part of that wacky shoulder transformation, and no butterfly, though, but it's... I don't know if they did the crazy transformation to include more articulation or if it was just a byproduct of it. So we got the bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, probably because of the transformation. And then the hands do rotate and move. We'll see a little more of that. And I guess we need to rotate the hand around again. That's strange. You have to rotate it around. I guess I missed that in the transformation. Then we go to the waist swivel. And then an ab crunch. It's not a lot of ab crunch, but it's there. So he's got the articulation. Leg goes out to there, and I bet you he can hold himself on a high kick. So, I mean, that's really good. It's kind of one of the standards there. Can you hold a high kick? And then, so he goes up to there. So, pretty much 90. And then we have another thigh swivel right there. So, a ton of articulation in this guy. I'm not seeing a double joint in the knee, but do you really need it? I mean, trying to go up too high and I'm untransformed the lower leg. And then the feet. So the feet kind of go side to side, front and back, and let's tighten that up. And it's pretty solid because it's got a really nice heel spur on it. All right, ladies, it's time to accessorize. So we have his shoulder cannon here, and can guys accessorize too? I guess we can, can't we? We are going to put his shoulder cannon in that slot there. Has the same slot on the other side, but I don't really think this thing would fit on the other side. It's really a one-way kind of deal there. No articulation. I think the missile comes out. It looks like it comes out. I'm not gonna mess with it. But then we have his gun, and let's put it in his hand and get a close-up of it. And there's his gun. Nice shiny silver. Come on. There it goes. Yeah, it looks good. And then he has this thing here, which is like okay, I probably should have... He always comes with this little lunchbox thing, that toolbox or whatever that is. And then we have this other piece right here, and I forgot what it's called again. But really, it's cool. It's from that one episode or something. And they include this stuff. I think he might be able to actually hold it. Let's see if he can hold it. I took his hand off. And he's holding it. And so, yeah, it's as you start getting the accessories on them and stuff, this start looking a little bit better, a little bit cooler, looking at a figure. I like that they included this. I like that he can hold it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good accessories. One thing I want to point out about him is all of the paint that carries forward from the transformation. But when you move this over, the way that just kind of looks different. See if I can get that on the camera. Just the paint stripes on there look a little bit different because of the way it folded forward. And then you see some replaced and misplaced and changes. Like that makes sense to be there. But then we have green on the side here, and of course the door. So just interesting how it turned out. And still, I like that nice look of kind of pearlescent, kind of a white instead of it being just a bright white. And yeah, so it is starting to look pretty good. Maybe it's not the most perfect one in the world, but right now, is it in the running for the best? We're going to find out in the comparisons here in just a bit. All right, so for comparisons, let's check this out. Here he is next to a G1. And for a while there, a lot of the G1s seem to be about the same size. as legends when you get the mini bots and a few of these other ones, but car bots you start to see the script flipped a little bit, so it doesn't really match. But yeah, it looks way better than the G1, that's for sure. Now for the Whiskey Jack, and I think this is the comparison that everybody really wants to see when it comes to this guy. And Whiskey Jack does sort of beat it in scale and size. But aesthetically, I mean, there are a couple things I like. I do like the fact that, let's get over here with this pencil, that Whiskey Jack has the rounded right here. Just kind of something we expect from this character. So these little things on the side there, I don't like that so much. And the feet look a little wider on this. I do like the way they did all the work and all that extra engineering to make the feet look a little bit more toon accurate. And so I do like that on this one. And head sculpt looks great. I think both head sculpts look fine. His head looks a little small for his body. And then the shoulders, you can adjust these shoulders, so that looks pretty clean. Let's look at the side of this here. Kind of a side profile, and it does look way cleaner on the shoulder and down below here. So there are a lot of good things about this that make it better than the Whiskey Jack. And then there's the back. But the Whiskey Jack was not a bad one, and it's like 5 years old. I mean, this Toy World did it a long time ago. Maybe it's 4 years old. I don't exactly remember the exact date they put that figure out. But side by side, like which one will be on my shelf? Well, let me show you. Here they both are next to Prime, and now you can start to see that Toy World scales better, and this one looks just a little bit too small. Now you might say, okay, well, let's put it next to Minibot, and okay, that scales okay. Magic Square Minibot, well, it doesn't quite feel right size-wise. Then Magic Square, and I kind of like Magic Square scale. You put it next to Magic Square scale for a Carbot, and as you can see, the Toy World fits in scale-wise a little bit better. But here's the thing, their David is almost the same size, just slightly smaller than him, so everything's still scaled pretty much based off of Optimus Prime, henceforth a little bit too small. Alright, so what I think of him, I think he looks good in hand. It's better than I actually was seeing in the pictures. Some of this kind of the torso is just a little bit off, and I'm wondering, maybe did I transform something wrong? Maybe I tab it and you can kind of squeeze those side pieces in a little bit better. Maybe I could do that. Maybe there's a way. But I do think he looks pretty good. He looks very cartoon with his aesthetic. He has a great paint to him, and with that, as you can see side by side here, is definitely a massive improvement from the vintage, and it is slightly improved in many areas from the Toy World Whiskey Jack. That falls short in the scale, and the transformation I think is overly complex, but you do kind of get a payoff on the lower legs, so I am okay with that. And the articulation is fine. It's pretty much everything I would need. No butterfly, but I don't really need that. So would I recommend this one? If you don't have a Wheeljack, then I would say pick it up. If you already have the Toy World, it's kind of a tough one to upgrade from your Toy World to this one. But what I start to wonder is, where's the Magic Square one? And will the Magic Square one blow this away design-wise, but yet still not have the paint presentation this one does? But anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I'm going to have a link down below where you can get this. It shows you that's where I got this. Like and subscribe, and Teddy hang around.
Feels like stone, but they look like the bones of some giant creature.
They're the fossilized.
Allow me to introduce Grimlock, Slag, and Sludge. Dinobots, huh? I thought you were supposed to make dinosaurs.